Hey everybody, Clear Pearl here, with part 2 of the 3-part series of the most nostalgic video game songs of my life. And guess what? I have a little bit of a secret to tell everybody. Middle school sucks. I know, shocker, right? Yeah, because that 3-year period between 6th grade and 8th grade is probably the worst transition period anyone could possibly go through. So what people decided to do was to take those people and lock them all in the same building together. Still, I guess I could say that middle school, was good in some ways. I mean, I met some of my closest friends there, so, there was that. And, video game related, it was actually a pretty, ripe time period for me when it came to, video games. Yeah, no, I mean, that seems kind of a weird thing to say, but let's think about it for a little bit. I was in 6th grade when I got the Nintendo Wii, which is probably the console I've used the most, like out of every console. I've probably spent the most time on the Wii, because, Nintendo kid, right? And, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't be a gamer, you play the Wii. That's just, you know what, shut up, okay? Middle school me, just fine. And you know what? High school me and college me still loves the Wii. You know what? Deal with it. And you know what? I think that was the only console in those 3 years that I actually got, new. I had the DS previous to 6th grade. I think I got it 5th grade. And the Wii was the only other console I got until 9th grade when I got the PSP. So yeah, pretty much every new game that came out was either on the DS or on the Wii for me. But there's actually a lot of games on the Nintendo that people just don't know about. And middle school me knew about them, because what the hell else am I gonna do in middle school? Study? Middle school me was definitely a transition between elementary school me and high school me when it came to gaming style, I guess. Elementary school me would just play whatever freaking game looked cool at the time, and he would just he would usually suck at them. But middle school me started actually knowing what he was doing in the video games that he was playing. He actually had ideas beyond the step that he was currently taking. He was more of a strategic thinker, that kind of thing. So that's why there were a lot of RPG-based games that he played at that point in his life. And by him, I mean me, in case you missed that. However, middle school me was also still trying to figure out what kind of games he actually liked playing. So, he would occasionally do research, but usually just, he'd buy whatever friggin' game he wanted, and he would play it, and if it sucked, I guess he just wasted a bunch of money. Oh well. But it was funny because he also enjoyed a lot of different games. He's like, I'm trying to figure out what kind of game I like playing, but I like all of them. And it was kind of a problem because I was also a huge completionist in middle school. I would want to get every last bit of data on that game before I went on to a new game. So I would spend so much time on one game, and I would have piles of other games just stacking up behind me because I hadn't had a chance to play them yet. So it was actually, I became a huge freaking nerd at that point. In elementary school, I guess I still went outside occasionally. Middle school, not so much. Yeah, I was total friggin' nerd at that point. There was no going back. Too many video games. But really, looking back, I did notice middle school was probably the biggest, the most obscure time period for me. The most games that I played that wouldn't be considered mainstream, or just branches off of mainstream games. Those games I played the most of in middle school. By the time I got to high school, I was a little bit more, I was less of a hipster. So let's get on with freaking middle school. I'm not going to explain the rules this time because this is freaking part 2 of a series that would not make any sense if you didn't watch part 1. Go watch that right now. Do it. Just gonna say what the time period for this was. This was fall 2006 to fall 2009. So let's go. Let's do this. Middle school. Let's experience the worst freaking 3 years of my life, but with some pretty awesome video games. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit with this first choice for number 5. Technically, this game did come out when I was in elementary school, but I didn't actually play it until I was in middle school, so that's why I'm putting it here. Gotcha Force is probably one of the most obscure games that I've played. I think it's a lot more popular in Japan, so much that there was actually a Japanese sequel to this game that was never released in America because no one in America played it. But this game is actually really awesome. Like, think giant robots mixed with Pokemon. It was really cool. Like, you would, like, I don't know, it was really basic gameplay, but I enjoyed playing it so much. Like, I was, again, like I mentioned before, I was a huge completionist in middle school, so I would play this game for so long, trying to unlock all the little toys, or I think, yeah, there were toys. And I spent way too much time. Like, I played through the game so many times. I think I got to play through number 5 the second time after my memory card exploded. I ended up playing through the game another 5 times to try unlocking everything again. I actually still haven't unlocked everything. That's how many things there are to get, and it's actually kind of a challenge. The game itself is really easy, but unlocking all of the different characters is pretty difficult because it takes so much time. But yeah, like, I mean, this is definitely one of those games that a lot of people look at and think, I don't really want to play it, but then, you know, you play it and it's actually kind of cool. So I can't speak for everyone, but I think this game is really a really interesting game, and if you haven't played it, you should see if you can find a copy for yourself. Now, let's go on to number 4, which I think a few more people know about. Clear Pearl, are you high? Why would you pick Pokemon Battle Revolution over Diamond and Pearl? Diamond and Pearl came out when you were in middle school. Why the hell are you talking about Battle Revolution instead? And, you know what? I like Diamond and Pearl, but I love Pokemon Battle Revolution, and I know that's like a kind of a controversial opinion because a lot of people didn't like Battle Revolution, but I really enjoyed this game. Diamond and Pearl themselves, they were probably the least impressionable generation that I can think of. It was those two games left the least amount of an impact on me personally. But Battle Revolution more than made up for that because it was so cool. I never played Stadium. I was just playing. I played it a couple of times at friends' houses when I was little, but I never owned it because I never had an N64. But Battle Revolution seemed to be like a huge upgrade from that anyway, so that was really cool. And it was awesome seeing like all the Pokemon I raised in Pearl. I would see them on the big screen in 3D, and it was really awesome. And it was and like there was like custom character customization, and there was like actual moves you could see and like everything, and the announcer was kind of annoying, but it was a nice touch anyway. It was really cool. And then the Wi-Fi battles, those were, I mean, well, they allowed Ubers, so it was basically nothing but Ubers fighting other Ubers if you wanted any chance of winning. But it was really cool, and like I personally really like this game, even though a lot of people don't. I can sort of see why people wouldn't like it. A lot of people were expecting like a sequel to XD, or maybe something that would be have more of an adventure feel to it instead of just competitive battling over and over and over again. But I think a game based on nothing but competitive battling is actually an interesting idea. Like it's, I mean, I would definitely prefer like a sequel to XD. That's like basically number 1 on my wish list for Nintendo to get on, even though they probably will never do that. But I definitely really like this game, and I'm rambling at this point. So let's just go on to the next song, which is a song that I think a lot more people on this channel specifically will appreciate. Yeah, let's go on to number 3. Dokapon Kingdom, I love to hate you, man. You are probably the most cruel but loving game in existence. I mean, I gotta admit, I did get this game in middle school. I played it a lot in middle school. I broke some friendships in middle school because of this game. But I mean, I guess technically I can't really say that I didn't really get into this game until high school when, LPing started. But this game it's such an ingenious combination. It's actually a really cool game. It's like Mario Party with swords and magic and leveling up, and it takes everything from every game that I like and it combines it into one game, and it's a really cool game, and I know so much about Dokapon Kingdom that they don't tell you, and I just sort of figured this stuff out on my own. This is one of the few games where I've done that, where I figure these things out without looking online or the game telling me. There are things like really subtle things, you really should figure it out on your own, magic defense is against, this is all same status magic or whatever, like herp derp. But there's also a lot of other interesting things that you really don't know about unless you go out of your way to figure them out, getting some of the more rare hairstyles in the casino, that sort of thing, or how some monsters tend to fight, their tendencies. But this game is it's so cool. I don't know, it doesn't matter if I'm playing against NPCs or my friends or if I'm all 4 characters at once. It's just one of those games that I just cannot stop playing, even though it's obviously one of the more childish games. But that doesn't really matter much to me. I just love this game. Enough said. Let's go on to number 2, man. You want to talk underrated games? We should talk My Life as a King. I don't know what it is about this game, but it is awesome. I love it. You don't even do anything in this game. You literally just tell other people to do stuff, but it's just such a peaceful game. I spent so much time playing this game for some reason. I still haven't quite figured it out, but it's one of those games where it's like what I was saying about Harvest Moon. It's one of those games that you're not supposed to do much of anything, but it's okay because you're having fun. You're doing things, and it's okay because it's peaceful and it makes you happy, and that's what video games are all about, right? So, My Life as a King is it's a really simple game. You can get it on the Wii Shop channel for $10. It's definitely one of those games that I don't expect a lot of people to enjoy, because it basically, you don't do any actual fighting. You send other people off to do the fighting for you because you're a king. Your job is to basically rebuild society because it's been destroyed somehow. But yeah, it's just one of those games that I played so much of, and I could never explain why. Whenever any of my friends were like, "Why do you play this game?" and I'm just like, "I don't know, it's fun, I guess." Those games, personally, I think are the best ones. The ones that you can't explain why you like them, but you just like them, okay? And that's pretty much all I can say about this game. Again, another obscure game from middle school, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to recommend you play it, even though, I don't know, there's a lot of different kinds of people out there that probably wouldn't enjoy playing it, but it's $10, so why the hell not, right? And now, let's go on to number 1 before I run out of things to say. This next song is probably something you won't see coming, but is actually the biggest part of my middle school life. So let's get on with it. Number 1. Bam! I hit you with the PC game. That's right, it's MapleStory. I love this game. In middle school, this game was my life. It's one of those games that I think like it was so much better to play if you had friends to play it with. Like in middle school, we basically formed a tradition where we would just like go home after school, run to our computers, and start playing MapleStory because that's what we would do. And it was so great. It was a great way to get to know people better. The game itself was also pretty fun. There was some pretty quirky dialogue. There were some awesome cartoony characters. The awesome cartoony monsters. It was a great game, a great atmosphere. It really felt like you belonged somewhere in the online universe. It's one of those MMOs that, like, the community's not full of, like, annoying people, as far as I know. That could have changed by now. But I just got texted. Okay. Anyway, it's a great, yeah, what was I saying? A great atmosphere, great people, great game. I only stopped playing because most of my friends stopped playing, because my friends get bored more easily than I do. But it was definitely fun a while ago. I heard they made a lot of changes to the gameplay, so I don't know if it's like any good anymore. I've heard a lot of people who don't like it anymore because of all the changes they made. But I don't know about that because I stopped playing before that point. But it's a really fun game, and it's full of nostalgia. This game was basically me in middle school. I played this game so much, and like this has to be number 1. There's nothing else in middle school that even comes close to MapleStory. I can't, like, this game was my life. Yeah. I don't know what else to say at this point. So, yes, that's it. That's number 1, MapleStory. For better or for worse. Yeah. Yep, thanks for watching. That was number 2 of the 3-part section of the most nostalgic video game songs of my life. The last part was elementary school, and the next part, I bet you'll never guess, is, I'm not going to say now, but if you can't figure that out, then you should probably seek help. But yeah, what was I going to say? Thanks for watching, and oh yes, the question, I want to know what your top 5 most nostalgic video game songs of your middle school life is, assuming you have in fact graduated from middle school. I am under the impression that most of our viewers are in fact out of middle school. It's not out of the question that there are like 13-year-olds watching this right now. But yeah, assuming you are in fact out of middle school at this point, what are the top 5 most nostalgic songs of your middle school life? Because you go through a lot of changes in middle school, so it's interesting to see that transition period of what games you enjoyed in elementary school and what games you enjoyed in middle school. So if you could give me that information, that'd be a good read for me. Also to see if I'm full of shit. Yep, feedback and all that, like, subscribe, follow, or everything, all that shit. Yep, that's about it. Credit for all the music and the videos I use is in the annotations that I put throughout the video, and I'll see you in the next vlog, or possibly LP. Bye.